Williams, owner and founder of Upright Spine Center, and welcome to Upright and Align, where community meets chiropractic care. So today, the first podcast starts today, and we are honoring Black History Month. And for today's host, I brought on my college classmate, Miss Dr. Mildred Morency.
Hi, everyone.
So, Mildred, we've been knowing each other for some years now.
Yes.
And went through a lot of trials and tribulations. So, talk to us a little bit. How did you get into chiropractic care?
So, funny enough, my next door neighbor was actually a chiropractor. You already know,
yes.
Dr. Ruben Thompson, and he used to treat my father. And we grew up with chiropractic, and I always knew I wanted to do it.
Okay. And I want to say, where did you start? Where did your journey start? Where did you start at undergrad?
I went to undergrad at Florida State. I'm born and raised Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Graduated from Booker T. Washington. And after 4 years at Florida State, decided to take a little bit of time off and journeyed into Palmer, Florida, where I met you.
Okay. All right. And
that's
that's where we met. So also we're in a white male dominant profession. You and I were in a class of maybe 40 to 50 people, being the only two African American female in the profession. So talk to me a little bit about how does that make you feel being a female in a predominantly male profession?
I feel like a lot of times it's like a double-edged sword,
mm-hmm.
because on one hand, when you look around, there's not so many people that look like you.
Right. So
it's hard to find people to relate to and that understand your process and your journey, or even how to relate to the demographics of people we're actually going to be treating. So while on the upside, it's like, because you're in a unique situation, when you do meet patients that are like, women, Black, young, old, it doesn't matter. They relate to you better, and they understand, where you come from, cultural things that
mm-hmm.
vary across, races. So again, it's twofold,
Okay, so yes, I definitely agree. When we graduated, I decided to come back home myself as the first African American female down south to open a practice. And I kind of piggybacked off of you, because when we graduated, I didn't focus and go right into boards and become a licensed chiropractor. But once I got back in, you had recently just opened your practice, and then I opened mine. So it was just like the rest was definitely history. So when it comes to chiropractic care, what is a myth that you are just tired of people throwing on us?
Oh, there's so many.
Listen.
And off the top of my head, I would say that a lot of people think you need to be injured to see a chiropractor.
Correct.
And that's not always the case. Or that, once you go once, you'll have to go the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true.
Correct.
When people come to us, everyone is coming in with a unique issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some are injured. Some are coming in for maintenance and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Some are just coming in because they've literally tried everything and nothing seems to work. And chiropractic is kind of like an alternative to what they've already been doing, or something to supplement what they've already been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, biggest myth is that chiropractic is only for injured patients. It's not. And that once you come, you'll have to go forever. You don't.
And to piggyback off of that, we both treat personal injury patients.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we experience personal injury patients all the time. However, once they get off treatment, they feel like, oh, well, those treatments were going to help me and I don't have to go back again. False. You have chronic injuries. Some people actually have herniated discs.
Right.
They actually have some sinus issues. They actually have some actual posture issues, forward head translation. All of these kids looking down. So it is just crazy. And let me ask you, when you were in elementary school or middle school, did you get a scoliosis screening?
We did.
Okay.
So every year, every year probably, like a school physical, but they did it throughout like the entire class. You had like a physical day, all the kids go outside.
Yep.
You would have to sit and like push that thing to see if you could touch your toes.
You
would have to stand up. Yeah, and then touch your toes, and they would, palpate your back to make sure that there's no misalignment. And I don't know if they still do that today.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't see or hear about it much often, but I do see adults come to my office and they're like, yeah, they told me I had scoliosis, but I didn't know what to do. Chiropractors do help with scoliosis, and a lot of people don't know. It's not that we can change the curvature of the spine. Our job is to make sure you're not experiencing any muscle pain or any discomfort, or the curve could possibly get worse if you're not being seen or treated. So people say they go to their PCP, and my doctor didn't do anything because MD is not specialized in working with scoliosis.
Right.
They're going to give you some medication to help you numb the symptoms that you have going on. But us, we're working on the spine, the structures, and the anatomy. Mm-hmm. They may also send you to PT, but you actually need a chiropractor, PT, massage. You need all of that to be incorporated in to what's going on. So talk to me about what led you from working with another chiropractic office to stepping out on faith on your own.
So, coming out of school, I never fully worked for a company per se.
Gotcha.
I worked as an independent contractor for multiple offices. So I traveled a lot from North Broward all the way down to Homestead.
Yeah.
So while that was, I felt like that fit me better because I got to experience so many different types of practices. Yeah. So I've got to see, a lot of personal injury, wellness practices that are, only cash, or practices that deal with specific types of injuries. So like, let's say athletes that injure their knee or shoulder, scoliosis as well. Yeah. So I would say my journey was non-traditional. And that most people do graduate and then work as an associate at a practice. I decided, not just for the finance, but for wanting to gain as much experience as I could, that it was better for me to just travel from place to place. And then, as I got older, I've been doing that for 5 years. I was like, okay, well, what's next? And, I don't want to feel like a nomad.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't have roots. And again, coming across patients that you connect with and they're like, well, where can I find you? And it's like, well, and so being like, okay, after hearing that so many times and wanting to be grounded, my husband and I, who's also a chiropractor, shout out Dr. Matthew Holmes,
right.
We decided now's the time. Yeah. We've had enough experience. We've seen it all. And that was just the next logical step.
I like that. And just to say, I do want to give flowers at this moment because it was hard. I stepped out on my own, and for you, it was a journey that you were prepared for. For me, I lost my job. So it was like, this has to work. All my eggs are in this one basket. So to see the knowledge that you actually learned, I just jumped right in. No knowledge, no business plan, no model or anything. This is what I want to do. So to actually have you be there to walk with me each step definitely means a lot, because every day, even now, we've been 5 years, 6 years in, and it's still us on the phone calling each other trying to figure out whose neck do we want to wring, how does we want to handle these situations, whether it be attorneys, patients, just the different demographics that you deal with. And I remember and I want you to share a little bit more about your nationality and the connection, because I actually had a patient, and I'll get into that, how you helped me with them, because if there's a language barrier or a culture barrier, you could just be going anywhere and not be informed about what's going on. True. Or if the person is in better care of you getting better, or if they're just trying to run up something to make you end up having a bill at the end. So talk to a little bit more about your culture.
Yeah, so I'm Haitian American. Both of my parents are from Haiti. I myself was born and raised Miami, Florida. And so being Haitian American, chiropractic as a profession is not something that's well known.
Correct.
A lot of times their initial exposure to chiropractic comes from being in an accident, or maybe having a family member or someone they know that does chiropractic, and then that's how they find out about it. But for the most part, for Haitian Americans, you don't find that they even know what chiropractic is.
Yeah.
And so with me, I feel like I have a duty to not just advocate for those patients, but also give knowledge so that they know, hey, this is standard of care. This is what you should be expecting, no matter what you're going in to see them for. Because I find that when you don't know as much, or when you're coming from a place of like, hey, I'm new to this, you can get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And I see that often with patients who don't understand that, hey, you don't need 15 million images. You don't need a bunch of the, it's not necessary, but because they don't understand how the process works, sometimes they're either over-medicated, over-treated, when in actuality, it's because they just didn't know to even advocate for themselves. So again, being Haitian American and having that lens into that community, I'm just like, it's my responsibility to make sure that not only the people that walk into my office understand the profession a lot more, get more exposure to it, but that we represent the profession so that they know what's standard, not just for, chiropractic has a reputation for, we know the negative things. So, we want to make sure we represent that in the best way
possible. And yes, going off of that, we're the 3%.
Right.
So we're only 3% in the profession as far as being African American. But going back to my story, I had 2 Haitian American patients, and the language barrier, they understood me, but I wanted them to understand it in a way to where when they went home, they knew how to explain it to their family. Because you could tell maybe one was a little bit more fluent in English than the other, so more fluent in Creole. So I didn't know that. So my thought was immediately to call you and say, hey, can you explain to them so they can have a better explanation of what's happening with them, what's happening with their case, and things of that such. And even with my community, just because you go back home to, and I learned this, to educate a community does not mean that they want to be educated.
That's very true.
And you could tell them simple things like, hey, looking down could cause pain in your neck. You could wait 10 years, and then now they're like, oh, that lady did say if I keep looking down, my neck. But now we're having kids. So now your kids, you have phones, you have tablets, you're just throwing them at them, they're looking down. So they're growing up with a lot of these issues. So being a staple in the community, going back to just educating them, especially our 3%, because it's like, hey, people know about chiropractic care. They know, and they're very serious about their health and getting everything checked out. It's more than just getting your spine checked. People think we just adjust the spine. You adjust the extremities, as we call shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, or a hip, knees, ankles, and feet. I actually had a patient 2 weeks ago come in, and I simply adjusted her foot, and she had immediate relief. Results may vary. Results may vary. And that's another thing, a myth that we have, like one visit is enough. And they have, the chiropractor told me I needed to be seen 20 or 30 visits. Well, did you come in there and tell them that you had pain at an 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10? Our goal is to get you out of pain. I'm not giving you anything to numb the symptoms.
Right.
I'm giving you real natural ways to better affect yourself, whether it be at work or you drive a car or you do hair, you work at Amazon, all of these different things. You're pregnant, like babies moving around, all type of stuff is going on. So, and you were pregnant. Talk to us a little bit about, did you experience benefits of chiropractic care while you were pregnant? And how did it help you with your delivery, or just go into a little bit of that?
So I can only speak for my own
All right.
personal opinion, but I found that being in chiropractic and, having access, because again, my husband's a chiropractor as well, that it helped my delivery better.
Yeah.
I worked all the way up through till I gave birth pretty much. I didn't experience, morning sickness. I if I did, you still get fatigue from time to time, but for the most part, for both of my pregnancies, they went really well, and I'm so lucky, because that's not always the case. And I personally believe that being in chiropractic is a part of that reason.
Yeah.
Obviously your health and diet matters, but, you have to look at yourself as like an entire human, and then little pieces that make it better.
Yeah.
And being intentional about making sure that you do what's best, for you. I did want to circle back to what you were saying about patients not like realizing how, when you come to me and you're like, hey, I have neck pain. Okay, well, how long has it been going on? Did you slip? Did you fall? Do you have history of herniated disc? It's like everything is not a one size fit all, and I think a lot of times because they may see a video on YouTube of a doctor adjusting a patient and they're like, oh, their neck cracked really loud. Why isn't mine doing it?
Right.
It's like,
oh my God.
It's like, because you guys are two different people.
Yes.
So the way that their body may respond to an adjustment may not be the same as yours. Some people it's really, really loud. Some people you just hear like a little like click, For some people you just getting better range of motion. We want to see an improvement over time from when you first came in to when you go on into maintenance care,
right,
and you come in as needed, and it's just like, again, our goal, I think a lot of times people kind of get it misconstrued and think, oh, well, it's a one size fit all.
Correct.
It's not.
And I'm gonna go off that. A lot of people, when I'm adjusting them, will say, do it again. I didn't hear it on that side. And now you're talking about overusage, strainage. Now you're having issues with the thrust, and it's too much of a thrust, so you may not need it in that area. And then another thing being that going through the whole, being compliant.
Oh, yeah.
Being compliant is so important, because you have people where I may say the issue maybe isn't as chronic. Maybe you need 12 visits. 12.
I know.
You can't even complete 3 because you feel like, oh, well, those 3 made me feel good. I don't think I need to come back anymore. Mm-hmm. But then you don't see them for like a year or so, and they wait to come back to you when they're at an 8 or a 10 out of 10, and they're looking for immediate results. And my thing is, let's go back to that 12 visit plan 12 treatment visit plan I gave you. You only did 3. If you followed through, the pain would have been completely out of there. Now we're working on maintenance. So when it comes to actually what chiropractic care is, share with them, and we'll piggyback off how the nervous system is what we're really trying to save, because our job is to make sure that their spine doesn't get on their nerves.
Right.
So if anything, sometimes you may be the one that's putting your spine on your nerves and you don't know. So how would you explain what chiropractic care is and how it could benefit them and their families?
So what I tell people is that chiropractic gets to the root cause of the issue. Oftentimes we live in an instant gratification society.
Right.
You want to put it in a microwave. Your back hurts. You want to take an ibuprofen 800. You want to get rid of the pain right now.
Right now.
And all that does is mask the real problem. And what chiropractic focuses on is getting to the root cause. So when we're trying to identify what that is, there's a lot of factors that come into play. Where do you work?
Yeah.
How often are you on your phone, bending down, looking down? Were you in an accident? Did you previously fall? Do you have any history of herniations? How old are you? Do you have any degeneration, osteoarthritis? It's again on a spectrum, but what our goal is to get to the root cause of the issue, so that once we get that managed and maintained, you're not coming in every day. You're not coming in saying, oh man, like, I saw a chiropractor for 3 visits and I felt better, but now it's back. Okay, you didn't even follow through with the treatment plan.
Yes,
so we didn't even get to treat the cause of the problem long enough so that now that it's resolved, we've now given you tips for maintenance that you can manage. And then whenever you want to come in, just for a check-in or just to see if you're, aligned and you want to feel like you get better motion, you come in. But a lot of times you're like, you came to see me for this.
Reason.
I gave you a treatment plan. The way that the treatment plan is structured is based on, remedying the root cause of your issue. If you don't follow through with that plan, I cannot guarantee you that
You're going to get better.
You're gonna,
You're
and
gonna
then
get better.
you're gonna get better, stay better, and then the pain is not gonna come back.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then now you're going from chiro to chiro, thinking that it's the chiropractor. When people come in my office and try to down another chiropractor, my thing is that was your experience. But let me educate you, because I'm not going to down the guy down the street. Let me see, did you follow through with the plan? What type of patient are you? I'm asking you your goals. What are your goals realistically? Are you trying to get out of pain and stay out of pain? But a lot of things go back to the patient, because you come to us for maybe a 5-minute visit or an hour visit if it's personal injury, and now you're going into your life.
Yeah.
You have 24 hours, 23 hours left in a day, and you're like blaming us because what's happening is not, your recovery is not happening fast enough. Mind you, like you said, you could be a driver, a truck driver. Are you driving all day? You could be an Amazon worker. Are you lifting more than 50 pounds a day? Yes. Are you a hairstylist? Are you braiding in just this one style, and now you have carpal
drying
tunnel?
straight.
Blow drying. I had a patient this week.
Yeah.
Her shoulder is completely shocked. I have people who work from home, and they're sitting there. One lady said she had her arm up off of the armrest, and she's been holding it here for an hour. To us, that's simple education. But are you realizing that your muscles, in order for your arm to be up, they're in an active state? So now you're working your whole arm for an hour. That's a whole hour that you could use in the gym. And you're a mom, and I tell moms all the time, go get some weights from Five and Below. Don't be so hard on yourself. Walk around the block, get a stroller, walk around the block, do some weights, do some crunches next to the side of the bed. You don't have to make your life difficult.
Hand to God. And this is coming from someone who's done all the things.
Listen.
Jet Set, Solacor, Barry, done it all, right?
Yes.
And I tell people, coming out of pregnancy and trying to rebound and get yourself, reoriented and lose, the simplest thing you can do is just walk.
Yes.
Just walk.
Yes. And what I tell them is, if they say, I don't have time to work out, I don't have time to do this, but you have time to go get your hair done, you got time to get your nails done, you got to go to the grocery store, park far. Don't try to get the parking spot in the front. Try to park a little bit back. Get that walk in. Get your steps in.
Get your
come
steps
back,
in. Put your little Fitbit.
And that's it. That's all you have to do. But when you start giving them stuff to hold themselves accountable, the accountability lacks on that end. And not to blame them. My job is to educate you. But if you come back to me and you're like, oh, I didn't get out of pain, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And a lot of my patients, I follow them on social media. Your stories are amazing. You live a lit life, I will say. But flying on a plane, going to Dubai, it's a dream of ours. How long are you on that plane to Dubai? Is that seat comfortable? Do you have first class? Even if you have first class, are you still comfortable enough to get a rhythm? Are you sleeping right? Sleep. People could kill me with the whole sleeping on their stomach.
Oh, no.
As they do not know, but my job is to educate you. Sleeping on the stomach is the worst position you could sleep on. The back is the best, but I'll be honest and say, before I got into chiropractic care, sleeping on my stomach was my position. I loved it. I love to curl my head up like this. But when you think about it, 9 times out of 10, most people do wake up with crooks in their neck. And that's the issue, because you have all of this torsion going on in your neck that it's going to happen. But people will say, oh, I've been doing that for 20 years. Well, the body is not going to respond to the first day you do it. It may just be tired on the 5th, 10th, or 20th year of you doing it. And it's like, all right, can't do it no more. Chronic. Now it's time for you to wake up and say, now they're like, well, I can't sleep on my right side. It's just weird. So do you want to continue having the pain on the left? Because consciously you're saying to yourself, I can't do something. Now your body is like, yeah, no, we can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to adjust.
And I also tell them 6 visits at a chiropractor is not going to undo 30, 40, 50 plus years
trauma.
Of wear and tear on your body. It is not. I can meet you where you are, but let's get, like you said, when you ask them, what are your goals? Like, let's get a real, picture of what legitimate expectations looks like for your case. And so going back to misconceptions, a lot of misconceptions is people think, oh yeah, I come in, I get in, and I should be out of pain. We treat you and then you go back to your life where you're a FedEx delivery driver and you're picking up heavy boxes.
Doing the same
so you
thing.
just literally undid all the work that I done. And when we say, hey, you know what, you need rest, and it's like, I can't rest. How am I going to pay for my bills? How am I going to take care of my family? You know, and so again, you're kind of walking a tightrope of, you know, really a balancing act of figuring out where I can give, where I can take, and what works to keep us, you know, keep us going, you know. And I tell people all the time, like, listen, I work in chiropractic. I'm also a patient as well.
Right.
So if anyone understands, you know, it's myself. I just have, you know, just a little bit more specialized knowledge, but I'm in it too. I'm a mom. I'm busy. But guess what? Not having time to walk, right?
Yeah.
We scroll on TikTok.
All day sometimes.
Scroll on TikTok and walk while you do it simultaneously.
Yeah.
You know, walk around the block, walk around the park. You will notice a change. I kid you not. Like, after a week of doing it, you will see how much more energy you have. You will see how much you're, you know, willing to get up and get active more. Park farther to the supermarket. And those little things over time add up.
Make a difference.
Same thing with being hydrated. You know, I personally don't like to drink my calories unless it's wine.
It's honest.
But for people that struggle with drinking soda, they're like, Doc, how do you always drink so much water? I said, I didn't start off this way. Just replace one beverage.
Listen.
One beverage a day. Start there. And then you'll notice that as you gradually work yourself up, you won't even miss it.
Because you are training your brain to do what it needs to do. Granted, when you detox, your body goes through so many different changes because it's craving what you
sugar.
used to have, the sugars, the salts. It doesn't want you to work out, hence why when you work out the first day, you feel like you've been hit by a tractor trailer. Because it's like you're waking up all of your muscles. But now it's just our job, and just to piggyback off of that again, we as chiropractors get adjusted. We have all type of seminars for continuing education classes we have to do. We get adjusted there. Me, I remember when I first started, I was starting a business. I was burning myself out. I wasn't even getting adjusted. I was forgetting that I'm healing everybody and I'm not even healing myself. So people are like, how often should you get adjusted? So for me, if you think about it, if you're treating anywhere between 20 to 40 patients in one day, with different sizes, the biggest I feel like I've adjusted was maybe 4 something. And that's a big guy. And I'm only so big myself. So my thing is, you're adjusting all of those bodies all day. You're putting all of that on your body. So yes, you need to get the adjustments. Yes, you need to relax, rest. But we're running businesses. So sometimes it's like, all right, I'll sleep later because I don't really have the time. But it'll shut you down sometimes. Like even right now, like I know you all can hear it, but like my sinuses are flaring up. It could be I function at high stress levels. And I'm learning that about myself even right now. So it's like I'm still able to move, but now I'm learning maybe I pushed myself a little too far. But now it's time to come back. And that's just me being transparent with my own story. So I think people look at doctors as if we're perfect. And no, we're not perfect.
We're humans.
We probably had a glass of wine just like you, and now we're drinking water. Or now I probably held my baby the wrong way, and I thought about it, but maybe I'll come back. Or maybe I didn't walk. Maybe I didn't run. Maybe I just kept going all day. But it's just catching yourself before you get to that point of no return. But as far as us, it seems like we pretty much are very educated in what we do. We educate the community because that's what we should do. And there's no pressure with going to a chiropractor. My goal is, once we've educated the heck out of you, is it something that you want to focus on to help? And then I don't think the profession gets enough respect anyway, because like you said, the 2 to 3 visits that we are just wanting them to at least show up for, they'll come back and say, oh, I went to my doctor and they told me that they prescribed me this, or they told me I needed to go to an ortho. Now you're going to an ortho. No offense to the orthos, but now you're going to an ortho. Now they're thinking about surgery. Because the way you explain care, and let me share that story. A guy came in. I've been treating him for a while. He's had a history of foot and ankle pain. I've been treating him. He went to the hospital and told these people that he couldn't walk. So when you think you can't walk as a professional, you're thinking lumbar, you're thinking there's some sciatic nerve going on, some herniated disc, whatever the case may be.
Gosh.
He said they did like a Grey's Anatomy study on him where they had all the doctors in the hospital trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Dr. Mildred, he came in my office and told me that whole story. And I laid him on his back, and he said, you better not touch my feet. I told those people at the hospital that they better not touch my feet. I said, you said that you couldn't walk, but I know you have a history of foot and ankle pain. I know you. The hospital does not know you.
Right.
They're just guessing. That is just a stop to get you to go somewhere else. And I think that's something that people don't understand as well. But simple tests, Morton's neuroma, positive. Morton's neuroma, he has a nerve that is irritated between his cuneiforms, the little small bones.
In your foot.
Quick positive. He was in that office less than 5 minutes. He's like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm feeling. That's exactly what it is. He left my office, texted me later to tell me, I text my doctor what you told me the diagnosis was, and they said that they agree with you. MDs are MDs for a reason. Chiropractors study bones, the anatomy, things of that such. MDs are studying more of the pathology to give you a diagnosis, to give you medication. We are diagnosing you to figure out also before surgery happens or before you get on these extreme meds, is there something that we could do naturally to help you? Is there anything free that we could give you to do at home to help you? How did 5 minutes of me knowing somebody, because we're like PCPs too.
Yeah.
We know
With
you.
that first line.
So in my head, I thought about, I have to go back and re-educate my patients to let them know what you tell other doctors is important because they're going off what you say. They don't know you.
Right.
So you told those people not to touch your feet and you told them you couldn't walk. They're thinking back. They're not thinking your feet are the reason why you can't walk. Now you have the diagnosis you need. You're getting the care that you need.
Right.
You're doing the things that you need. That patient was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. Just for you to come to my office for 5 minutes, me diagnose you, adjust your foot, and now I'm giving you the proper techniques and exercises to do for you to benefit at home. But, you know, we could go on and on about
he just got
those stories.
a 6-figure medical bill.
For you to go somewhere where somebody knows you,
Yeah.
knows your history.
Wow.
And speaking of history, we go on and on about that, but they hate when you want to get the history. They want you to actually know what's wrong. I'm in pain. Well, we need to know if it's sharp, dull, achy, stabbing to figure out what it is to give you the right diagnosis, because you leave here and you say, oh, they didn't give me the right diagnosis. They didn't do anything there.
They didn't do anything. They just asked me some questions. Those questions, the answers to those questions is how we figure out what we're going to do.
Correct.
You know?
We'll wrap this up. Can you share with the community where they can find you, where you're located, social media platforms?
Okay, so I'm Signature Touch, Dr. Morency at Signature Touch Chiropractic. I'm located in Miramar, 2700 South University Drive. I'm right in between Miramar Parkway and Miramar Boulevard. On Facebook, it's Signature Touch Chiropractic. Social Instagram is Signature Touch Chiro. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, and if you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can call me directly at 954-367-6716.
And I just want to thank you for being a guest on the first episode that we are actually having. I hope that was very insightful for you all, just to give you a little background of what we deal with and what we experience. My name, again, is Dr. Amber Williams, owner and founder of Upright Spine Center, and thank you for tuning in to Align. If you're looking for a chiropractor in my area, I am at 9867 East Fern Street. That's in the beautiful city of Palmetto Bay, right adjacent to West Perrine. So we're right behind Golden Rule and right across from Goodwill. You can find me on all social media platforms at Upright Spine Center, just like that. And if you're looking for tips and any educational content, you can find me on all social media platforms at Dr. Amber DC. And stay tuned for my nonprofit, Upright Cares, where we're going to be spreading awareness about chiropractic care, benefits of scoliosis, STEM labs, and all of the best. Thank